Okay, so the DJI Osmo Nano versus the Insta360 Go Ultra. Okay, here's my 2 cents. I'm just gonna put it out there. I think the most important aspect of whether or not you get either camera is your use case. And when I say that, what I mean is if you're looking for a camera A, you know, your A roll, your talking head, your main or potentially only camera, personally, I don't think you should be getting either. I think that should be something that has a little bit more kind of aspects behind it. You know, I think either camera, you're very limited on battery life, you're limited on storage potentially. And I just don't know if it's really that kind of solid, durable A cam that you need. But if you're trying to get a small sort of on-the-go vlogging camera, then they should be compared to one another. If this is camera 2 for you, like it is for me, I think that is an entirely different thing. And honestly, I don't really know if it makes a lot of sense to even compare the two. I think the most important aspect is the ecosystem that you have already built. If your camera A or another camera that you have is a part of one of those. So if you have an Insta360 camera, you know, like the 360 version 5, what is it called? And then you have the mics, let's say, fine, then probably go with the Go Ultra. If you have any DJI product that accepts microphones via Bluetooth, you know, like the Mic 2s or the Mic Minis, etc., then you should go the DJI route. It's that simple. I think as well, people are looking to potentially take this camera, whether it's the Nano or the Go Ultra, and substitute it for a different A cam. And again, I don't really know if that's the best use case. For me, I originally didn't want it. When the Nano was announced and released basically almost at the same time, I looked at it and said, that looks like they took an Action 5 and just basically took a knife and carved it up and made it slightly different so that there's a slightly different use case and it can appeal to a different audience for arguably the same reasons. And I said, I don't need it. But after thinking about it and after the price being what it is, which is fantastic, I said, you know what this is? This is actually perfect for me in terms of my setup, because with that, I can have a camera B. And I think when you're looking at vlogging, most of the time, you're usually kind of on the go. It's like you're using the action cam arguably as an action cam because you're walking, right? You're commuting, you're doing something like what I'm doing right now. And this is on the Action 5, right? So you only really need this one camera. The problem though is that if you're trying to kind of change up the angles and you want to try to stay, let's say, relevant and visually appealing, so you need to kind of keep changing up the frames, you need a camera like that one. And now you have two. So all I had to do was set up this camera, hit record, and hit record on here, and now I have two angles and I'm driving. And on top of that, I have the Mic Mini here, which is Bluetooth linked to this. So I'm getting the native audio out of this camera here as a backup, one. And two, I could easily sync these based off the audio or the waveform. So I can load these two videos into DaVinci and then highlight, right click, auto sync, and boom, now I have two angles and I could just pop between the two. So it works as I guess an improvement to your overall experience, because now you have two camera angles. As well, it gives you a little bit of an insurance policy because now you have a second form of audio in case this fails or just is bad, and you can use that to sync them. I think this is a fantastic B cam. Fantastic. I don't think it would be needed so much as an A cam, except if you're trying to be inconspicuous or you have a scenario where bringing an Action 5 doesn't really make sense, right? Like if you wanted to go, let's just say, to a party or a wedding, etc., and you wanted to bring something besides your phone, you could bring that a lot more easily and put it in your pocket. You can bring the base, but you arguably don't even need to. I mean, you have the actual pod, and you could just hit record, and you got 90 minutes, or probably like more like 70. I can't wait to bring this thing around with the Action 5, but again, in a scenario where I don't want to have the Action 5 with me, like let's say I go out for dinner, and I don't want to have my cell phone, I want to have something else. I can bring that, put it in my pocket, and it doesn't really matter. I don't need the base, because I'm not really looking to frame the shot perfectly. I just want to kind of capture it, right? It's the framing doesn't matter so much as, sorry, I'm watching the light, that's why I'm not looking at you guys. The framing doesn't matter so much so long as you're trying to capture the footage. And you have 70 minutes of it, right? So if I want to just document going out, I can bring that camera in the pill form, bring it out, and I get 70 minutes internally because I got 170 minutes of battery life, and then I got 128 gigs of storage. So it just depends on which one runs out first, probably the battery. So I think you're good. Then you come back and offload it, and you have that. And it's 4K 10-bit D-Log-M footage with pretty good audio, so long as you don't put your thumb over it. If I'm going, let's just say, out on the weekend to a farmer's market, or I'm taking my dog on a walk, or any sort of thing where you want to be light and nimble, and for whatever reason, the Action 5 might be too much. And I've come into those scenarios before. They happen more often than not. You bring that. I think that will actually promote you to record more when the Action 5 potentially hinders you because of carrying it around. Understand why everybody is comparing the Osmo Nano to the Go Ultra from 360. And I think first and foremost, if you're getting one camera as your Cam A vlogging setup, then arguably I would argue against getting either of them as your Cam A. I just think you need a little bit more of a solid camera, and I think going either of those routes will limit you in some way, because they do purposely make those cameras to sacrifice something for the convenience of something else, and it's usually size and portability. I think in due time, as you get into the vlogging world and as you get further along and more experienced, maybe you'll change up that thought. Maybe you'll say, you know what, I'd rather have the little square pill of the Go Ultra and be able to carry that around. I can do the storage, I have enough battery life, it serves me well. That's fine, but to start, I don't know whether or not it's a good idea to go with that until you know that that's what is needed. And then you could have that as your Cam A, and then whatever the other camera is as your Cam B. But I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, the Nano is a fantastic camera if you already have an Action 5. And therefore it becomes your Cam B, just like this. And I can have angles like this, or this, or this, or this, or this. I mean, it's funny to think, but like I could even take this camera, connect it here, put it behind this, and I'm like weirdly recording a BTS of this vlog. Like it's just so weird and versatile and amazing. Like I could switch between these two and it would make absolutely no sense. But the funny thing is that I can record me recording myself, right? And it's like, oh, this is a BTS. It's just a camera 5 inches behind the other one. Like it's just, the use case is awesome. The pill form as a Cam B is it, in my opinion. That is it. I think this is unbelievable. I've been trying to figure out a good ecosystem between my two cameras. Let me move this. I don't want to do this weird BTS anymore. So I'm super excited to use this camera all the time as my B cam or my emergency A cam. That's kind of what I'm getting at. All right, that's my rant. I'm at Target. All right, I gotta go. I'll see you guys.